It begins in the dying months of World War II. The Third Reich is collapsing. The Red Army pushes west, swallowing town after town. And somewhere in the forest of Lower Silesia, under the shadow of the Owl Mountains, a train is said to be waiting, its steel carriages loaded not with soldiers, but with treasure. Gold bullion, stolen art, precious stones, perhaps even crates marked with the swastika, containing secrets the world has never seen. The legend claims that in the spring of 1945, this train vanished without a trace. And for decades, its story has haunted Poland like a ghost buried beneath the soil. To understand the myth, we must first return to the grim reality of Nazi looting. From 1939 to 1945, German forces plundered occupied Europe on an industrial scale. Gold reserves from national banks, priceless paintings from museums, private jewelry collections, all were seized and funneled into the Reich's war machine. By the war's final year, Allied bombers were pounding German cities. The Eastern Front was a tide of Soviet steel and fire. The Nazis began moving their loot away from vulnerable urban centers, hiding it in salt mines, castles, and mountain bunkers. One such relocation effort was said to involve a heavily guarded military train. According to wartime accounts, though never officially confirmed, the train departed from the city of Breslau, now Wrocław, in early 1945. Its destination, somewhere deep within Lower Silesia's labyrinth of tunnels and mines. Here's where the trail dissolves into smoke. Official railway records from the time are scarce, many destroyed during the chaos of Germany's retreat. Witnesses would later claim they saw a train steaming out of Breslau under cover of night, escorted by SS troops. Others recalled hearing explosions in the hills near Wałbrzych, as if tunnels had been sealed. One persistent theory is that the train entered a secret tunnel near Ksiad Castle, part of the vast and mysterious Project WWII, a network of underground complexes dug into the Owl Mountains by forced laborers. Project WWII's true purpose remains unclear even today, but some historians believe it was intended as a secure headquarters for Hitler himself. If the train reached these tunnels, it may still be there, sealed behind rock and rubble for 80 years. Time has a way of bending facts in the folklore. Over decades, the Nazi gold train became a canvas for wild stories. Some versions claim it holds 300 tons of gold, the wealth of an empire in metal form. Others speak of lost masterpieces, paintings by Raphael, Rembrandt, perhaps even the Amber Room, a priceless Baroque chamber stolen from Russia in 1941. There are darker whispers, too, that the train contains crates of chemical weapons, that its contents are cursed. Anyone who tries to find it will meet an untimely end. In local taverns, old men would warn treasure hunters about the Black Tunnel, where lights fail, compasses spin, and people vanish. Historically, no proof of such supernatural dangers exists. But in the borderlands between history and myth, facts are rarely enough to silence a good ghost story. For most of the Cold War, the gold train was a forbidden subject. Poland, under communist rule, had little incentive to encourage independent treasure hunts. But after the fall of the Iron Curtain in 1989, the legend stirred once more. In the decades since, various amateur historians, miners, and fortune seekers have scoured the hills around Wałbrzych. Metal detectors swept over old railway lines. Boreholes were drilled into suspicious slopes. Each time, the promise of discovery sparked headlines, and each time, the results were inconclusive. Then came 2015. Two men, Piotr Okoper, a Polish construction worker, and Andreas Richter, a German treasure hunter, claimed they had found the train's exact location using ground-penetrating radar. They pointed to a stretch of embankment near the old Wrocław-Wałbrzych railway line. The images, they said, showed a massive 100-meter-long object buried underground. The news exploded worldwide. Cameras rolled as military engineers and geologists arrived to survey the site. The mayor of Wałbrzych hinted at 99% certainty that a train was there. Local hotels filled with journalists. Souvenir shops sold gold train t-shirts. But when the excavation began, the earth yielded nothing but soil, rock, and disappointment. The radar images, experts concluded had likely been misinterpreted. No train, no gold. Still, the legend didn't die. Pilot Cooper himself continued searching in other areas, convinced the real prize was still out there, waiting. Skeptics argue the gold train is nothing more than a myth born of wartime chaos and post-war rumor. They point out that while Nazi loot trains did exist, such as the Hungarian gold train seized by U.S. forces in Austria, in 1945, no documented evidence links one specifically to WWII or Lower Silesia. Yet the mystery remains stubborn. Lower Silesia was indeed a Nazi stronghold in 1945, filled with underground facilities. Local testimonies, while often contradictory, have been consistent about the presence of unusual train activity in those final weeks of the war. And in 2018, Cooper's team did uncover a hidden tunnel near Xiag Castle, proof that the region still holds secrets from that time. Could a train, sealed by explosives or landslide, still lie entombed somewhere in the hills? From a purely geological standpoint, it is possible. Lower Silesia's geology allows for long buried cavities to remain hidden for decades. And wartime Germany had both the engineering skill and the motive to hide something of immense value. Why does this story refuse to fade? Perhaps because it blends two irresistible human fascinations: treasure and mystery. Gold is tangible, a promise of sudden, life-changing wealth. But the gold train is also intangible, a puzzle piece in the vast, shadowy history of the Second World War. It invites us to imagine, to picture ourselves prying open a rusted carriage door and seeing the glitter of coins, the glint of a lost masterpiece, the relics of a vanished empire. And even if the train holds nothing but empty crates and rust, the chase itself is the reward. Every dig, every scan, every whispered rumor ties the present to the past, keeping alive the memory of a time when the world teetered between ruin and rebirth. In the forests and hills around WWII, the air grows heavy at dusk. Locals say that on quiet nights, if you listen closely near the old railway embankments, you can hear the distant echo of steel wheels on steel rails. Is it just the wind? Or is it the ghost of a train that never reached its station? The Nazi gold train may be nothing more than a story, or it may still be out there, hidden in darkness, waiting for the day someone uncovers the truth. Until that day comes, it remains what it has always been: part history, part myth, and one of the last great unsolved mysteries of the Second World War.